Um, where do you start with this? So we won the recruiting war. That's where I'll start. Last year we went out to North Shore. I don't know if you were out there at this point. It was at the very beginning, and they started. We did 2 weeks of ridiculous drills that were painful, but you get to see some of the kids and you get to watch them. So I was watching this one kid. Well, first I was watching his sister, who scared the death out of me because she was climbing up. She was on top of the goalpost, Tiffy, and she was hanging by her feet upside down. And I remember looking. It might have been you. I don't know who. I said, "Girls, what's happening?" And then all of a sudden I turned around. I was like, "Someone needs to go tell that girl." And they're like, "What girl?" I was like, "The one hanging from the." And I looked up. She climbed up that pole that goes all the way on top. So all of a sudden, as practice went on that day, I started watching this kid, again, really undersized. And I swear to you on everything I have, I said, that's got to be that sister's brother. I knew. There was no way it wasn't, because you could only have 2 lunatics. I mean, it's just the way genetics works. It's just the way it works. If you see one, you know you're getting the other. So we're watching it. So I'm sort of watching this kid with no pads on. And this guy Chris, who was running the league, but also was going to end up coaching the other team, says, "Hey, look, I know I told you that you could have all the Deerfield kids, but we can't do that." And I said, "What do you mean? You promised me, you promised the parents, this or that." And he said, "Because I'm coaching the team and you're not getting all the good players." And I said, "Okay." I said, "That's fine." I said, you got to do what you got to do, and I think that's fair. We'll try to split them up as evenly as possible." And he said, "Well, tell me the ones that you think, like, try to rate them this or that." So on a scale of 1 to 5. I gave you a 1, dude. I'm being the best. I tried to steal you. It was awful. It's probably the worst thing I've done in my adult life. And I said, Chris said, "Well, I think he's pretty good." I said, "Listen, I think what he is that he's fast." I said, he can't hold up in a season of this pocket. This kid has no chance. So he started off, he was going to be on our team, and then we had the first day of pads, and he screwed it all up. And you had to hit somebody hard, and Chris said he was going to take you. And so as I left North Shore, I told him I wasn't going to really recruit, which I didn't really. Unless you call begging recruiting. So I saw his mom at Potbelly's. I said, "How you doing?" I tried to put on a southern accent.
It worked.
I think your kid can play, but you got to decide what's best for him. So I talked to the dad, and we had conversations. I remember I was actually heading out of the country, and I talked to you in an airport for a while. And some point, and I meant this, and I said, "Look, I think they had him out of position last year. I think that you don't take a kid just because of his size and you put him out at corner, because he's never going to be out there. He doesn't want to be out there. He can't be out there. He doesn't have the patience. He can hit. The kid can play linebacker. I'm telling you, he's a linebacker. I think he can be a linebacker too." So anyways, we got him on our team. He came to our team, and he of course brought, or some of his friends came with him. I shouldn't say he brought him, but some of his friends joined up as well. And I think as you guys saw out there, it's nothing that I can coach or teach. Certainly, sometimes you either have it or you don't. You can mold somebody and do something a little bit different. And one of the things that we had problems with at the beginning of this year, and I had these same problems with Luke Woodson and had them with Ryan Busher. At the beginning of the year, and certainly then with Zach, is that they've always been the fastest kid on the playground, right? So they always can win with their speed. It's hard for them to understand that they've got to cut it up and take the hard yards and go and go and go. And as the year went on, I saw the whole thing change with Zach. And as you guys saw plenty of times, when he cut it up that field and when he hit a crease, he was gone. Okay? He was gone. And everyone saw these great runs that Zach had throughout the year. He's a better defensive player than he is offense. Those hits and the way he plays is truly, it's truly amazing. I don't care about his size. He's going to be a heck of a football player, and he's certainly going to play in high school as long as he stays, you know, healthy and all those good things. His size isn't going to stop him. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoyed having him on the team. I enjoyed watching him. And there were times that during practice and stuff that both he and Luke were smarter than me, right? They would correct me during routine things all the time. Sometimes I wanted to just, you know, but I liked having them, and I'll tell you where you grew up the most. When you first started with us, Zach, you weren't a real good leader. You were a little bit about me. As the year went on, and as we had a couple of those talks throughout the year, that's where you became great. It's when you became a leader and you started helping out your teammates and you stopped worrying about Zach. And that's something that you should be proud of. Guys, every once in a while, again, I said if it was the 1970s, he'd certainly be one of our MVPs. Zach Pomeranz. So, as with Zach, where I rated him a 1, this other kid I rated about a 4.5, 5, because he just didn't look great.